Now, the problem is I don't think I would be very good going toe-to-toe with a mob boss. But
that's why my character in this hypothetical tries to keep it all quiet. He goes then and has to reverse engineer everything. How do I destroy evidence? How do I create alibis? How do I do all these things to circumvent the responsibility that,
which is something I think you have some experience doing in the acting world.
A little bit of experience.
You've dabbled in that type of work, huh?
I've been able to take care of people who get in my way.
You're goddamn right. You ever have any moments where on Breaking Bad or Your Honor or any of these shows where sometimes I think about the best movies and TV shows I watch that have the craziest plots and the craziest murder scenes and all these things that a guy like Vince Gilligan or whoever it is coming up with them must be kind of crazy too?
You'd think.
Right? I mean...
Yeah, because I asked Vince when we first started, I was reading his scripts and thinking, my God, you're dissolving bodies and chemicals and I mean, like, what do you...
He should just go be a drug lord, just forget about movies and stuff. Go be a drug dealer.
Yeah. Well, I asked Vince, I said, did you ever write this when you were high or something? He goes... And he's a sweet gentleman from Virginia, and he's never done drugs.
Oh, wow.
Drugs. So, well, no, I don't. I just think it's kind of cool to think of what could happen.
Just think it's kind of cool to squish a head with an ATM. Something I've always thought about with my sober brain.
I believe in the book you wrote, A Life in Parts, you were talking, or at some point you were talking about the scene with Jane in Breaking Bad and how that was the one that kind of hit you and resonated with you the most. And I feel like a lot of the viewers, I know myself, maybe the ATM head, that one sticks out. Yeah. But that scene with Jane where she's choking and you're, back and forth, that was the one that, sticks with you the most from that series?
Yeah, that was the most emotionally surprising and dangerous scene for me because it was so interesting. As I prepare for a scene, I always get out a yellow legal pad and I just write down stream of consciousness thoughts about where I could go. What are the possible avenues emotionally that could happen? And it came up to that scene. It was like, well, I should write a pro and con list of why I should save her, why I should let her die. Mm-hmm. And on that, why I should let her die? Well, she got Jesse hooked on heroin, and she's going to report my enterprise, and I'll go to jail. And then why should I save her? Well, she's young enough; she could be my daughter. Mm-hmm. I wrote down, and I'm writing all these things down, and then you forget about it, and you just go do the scene. Well, but I planted that seed in my head. She could be my daughter, and sure enough, in one point, Kristen Ritter was, such a great actress, and she was giving it her all off screen. The camera was on me, and all of a sudden, I'm feeling the emotion of this situation, and in pops that thought, and my own real daughter's face replaced Kristen Ritter's for about 2 seconds. I saw my own daughter choking to death, and that's you see me go.
Yeah, that was real, right?
And just as soon as that came, it went. But the ripple effect afterward is like, oh my God, I couldn't calm down for. I went over. I told Anna Gunn what happened, and she's, oh my God, and she hugged me, and I cried.
Wow!
Oh, yeah.
Holy moly!
Oh yeah.
Joke.
It was a serious thing.
So what do you do to come down or come back to you after something like that?
Serious drugs. Serious drugs. You know what it is, I tell people it's like, it's sometimes physically demanding. It is emotionally demanding almost always. And you just have to take that risk. But what I do when I was leaving, especially say Breaking Bad, but I make it a habit for 25 years now, is I will go in the makeup and hair trailer, and I finish a rough day on Breaking Bad where, Walter White was doing some pretty nasty things, and you're out in the desert and there's sand and there's grit on you. I would go in there, I take a hot, moist towel, and I would wrap it on my bald head like it was a turban, and then I'd take another one and I'd wrap it around my face like I was getting a professional shave, and I would just sit there and allow the heat and moisture to draw out that impurities, and I would just get kind of sleepy, and I'd wipe my whole head and face of that, take off those clothes, put on my clothes, and I left Walter White at the studio. I never took him home with me.
Do you think
Is that real? You really did that?
that's well? You explain like attempted suicide. You're like, I just wrap a bunch of cloth around my mouth and see what happened.
I thought you were gonna say, I drank some Dos Hombres tequila. No, we got the whole thing here. That's crazy. I looking through everything, like basically your entire life. You have lived quite an interesting life, my friend. Reading the parts of the books that we've read, the interviews we've seen. You've lived a life that I feel like is worthy of like a movie, like a biographical movie. You've got some tales in there, sir.
I've got some tales. Yeah, I think when you think about your past, it was a challenging childhood. It was some rough times. My mother was an alcoholic. My father abused in alcohol and I think drugs, and they were. I think of my parents now, and I just have sadness because I think they wasted their lives. And but they taught me a lot of sometimes and most of the time what not to do, and go the other way. And I don't know. I mean, it was tough. And I think when you have a tough situation and growing up in the period that I did, you also have opportunities. So, for example, when my brother and I hopped on our motorcycles and left California for 2 years, we were on our motorcycles for 2 years, and we would get jobs in carnivals and cafes, and in those days, in the 70s, you didn't documentation. You want a job? Here's cash.
Here you go.
Bust those tables.
Right.
And here's food, and then see you later. And then you'd meet some girls, and they say, "You want to sleep on the couch?" And say, "Yeah, let's sleep on the couch."
Now, but like to me, that maybe it's kind of romanticized, but that sounds like fun and free. But in the moment, does it feel that way, or is it like shit? Got to get next food on our table, sort of thing?
It was. Now, I went to 2 years of college because I thought I was going to become a police officer. And the reason I thought I was going to become a police officer was because I think I was looking for a father figure. My dad wasn't in my life. And a policeman, that's very manly and very strong. And, and I was in a junior police explorer group, and I did really well, graduated first in my class. So I just thought, well, that's pragmatic. I should do something that I'm good at.
Yeah.
And so I started taking police science courses, and I was good. Okay, I guess this is what I'll do. I'll be a policeman. And then my second year of college, my counselor said, "You got to take some elective courses." So I went, "Oh, okay. Oh, acting. Acting. Let's do acting." I did some of that when I was a kid. And I got into an acting class, and my first scene was with a girl, and it was a couple making out on a park bench.
Oh boy. Throw you right to the fire. Let's go.
And I thought, oh my God, this is fantastic.
Jackpot, yeah.
This is and this is my job in the class.
Right.
So it blew my mind, and I realized, okay, I don't know what I want to do. And that prompted the indecision of, well, I don't know if I want to be a policeman, or should I try acting? My dad didn't have success, and I don't know. And that indecision led to the 2 years of being on a motorcycle. So I wouldn't want my children to feel so confused and indecisive, but it helped me.
Pretty cool. Yeah.